All right, welcome to today's class. In today's class, we'll be dealing on types of roots of a quadratic equation. There are three types of roots of a quadratic equation. The first in my list is the coincident or equal root. And then secondly, we have the distinct or real root. And then thirdly, we have the complex or imaginary root. All right, let's look at coincident or equal root. Equal root means that the roots of a quadratic equation are the same or equal. A quadratic equation is said to have equal roots when the roots of the quadratic equation are the same. Now, how do you know that a quadratic equation has equal roots? Use this formula. B squared minus 4ac must give you 0, or b squared must be equal to 4ac. Now let's take an example. Example 1. Solve x squared plus 6x plus 9 equal to 0. Now let's find the roots of this quadratic equation. Remember, b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, where a is the coefficient of x squared, and the coefficient of x squared here is 1. And then b is the coefficient of x, and the coefficient of x here is positive 6. And then c is the constant term. So the constant term here is positive 9. So now let's substitute into this equation. We have that b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. So here we have 6 squared minus 4 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 9. So 6 squared gives us 36. 4 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 9 gives us negative 36. So 36 minus 36 is 0. So this is our answer. Now remember, for the roots to be equal, b squared minus 4ac must be equal to 0. So here, it is equal to 0. Let's solve another question. Example 2. X squared minus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. And we are asked to find the root of this quadratic equation. Remember, a, which is the coefficient of x squared, is 1 from the question. And then b, which is the coefficient of x, is negative 2. And then c, which is the constant term here, is positive 1. Remember, b squared minus 4ac must be equal to 0. Now let's substitute into this equation. So here we have negative 2 squared minus 4 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1. So here we have negative 2 squared gives us 4. Minus 4 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1 is 4. So 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. So the roots are equal. Another way of knowing that the roots are equal is by using factorization method. Now let's take an example. Let's solve x squared plus 6x plus 9 equal to 0. Let's find the roots of this quadratic equation. The first step here is to look for two numbers that you will add up to get positive 6, which is the middle term, and multiply to get positive 9, which is the last term here. The two possible numbers are 3 and 3. If you add up 3 and 3, it will give you positive 6. And then if you multiply 3 and 3, it will give you positive 9. So now let's use them to replace the middle term. So here we have x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9 is equal to 0. So our next task here is to factorize. The common term here is x. So you bring out x into x squared. You are left with x plus x into 3x. You are left with 3. Close your bracket. The common term here is 3. 3 into 3x. You are left with x. 3 into 9. You are left with 3. And then equate it to 0. Our next task here is for us to pick the two terms outside the bracket and multiply one of the bracket. The two terms outside the bracket is x and positive 3. So here we have x plus 3, and then multiply it to one of the brackets. We have x plus 3. Equate it to 0. Our next task here is to equate each of these brackets to 0. So here we have x plus 3 is equal to 0. And then x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now let's find the value of x. X is equal to, if you move positive 3 to the right hand side, it becomes negative 3. And then over to this side, x is equal to, we move positive 3 to the right hand side, it becomes negative 3. Now you can see clearly that the roots are equal. X is equal to negative 3 and x is equal to negative 3. All right, so I'll leave you to solve a question for me. Solve x squared minus 2x plus 1 equal to 0. Find the roots of this quadratic equation and tell me if the roots are equal. Leave your answer in the comment section.